Yahoo! Yahoo! Hello, hello. Sorry I'm late. Welcome in. My son woke up just before stream started. I'm a little bit not quite as ready as I was. I was gonna be on time, but I was trying to get ready for we got a question today on the Patreon. It feels like we missed 1 week. It feels like it's been a little longer than that since I last did one of these evening streams. All the lighting and stuff set up. That looks a bit weird. All the cameras and stuff look a little bit in different places than they usually are. I think the setup is looking okay. The mic's probably very quiet because this is very far away. We're oh so professional here. Welcome in. Falling Canyon, first time. Thank you for showing up. Welcome in. Hopefully it's better live than the VODs. Ned Hart, Spiegel, Quilter, welcome in, welcome in. Let's get some music started. We are, of course, This is an evening stream. We are back on the bonsai, the never-ending ice ski work on the bonsai. Mizori. Mirozi. Sorry, I got that completely wrong. Timelines converged. I'm very glad they did. Welcome in. Hello, hello. Okay. I'm going to get stuck into some of this block. We can see what's been going on in the world of woodblock printing this week. I can't remember anything. I haven't got my notes written down. Just nothing. Ever so professional. The title is done and we have it correct on screen, so baby steps, we're getting there. But the camera is not angled correctly. Let me just fix this. Excuse the earthquakes. Where do we want to be? Here. That should do us nicely. Will you print the bonsai yourself? I will probably end up doing test printing, but I won't be doing any production runs unless something goes very, very wrong. I'll probably end up doing like a preliminary test run, a test print. Could you give us an overview of how much still left to clear on this block? Yeah, sure. We've done, I can't zoom out on this camera. I was very, very silly. I've got a camera that can zoom in really close. Well, it's a fixed zoom. We've done this side of the trunk. Let me get the, I'll get the reference up after. We've done this side of the trunk, moving up this way, up to about here on the trunk. We've done a few little branches and stuff over here. It's really not very good to view. We've got all this side to do. The scroll is still left to do. Some of these branches down at the bottom, these are done. And I've done a tiny little bit of work here. Yeah, it's painfully slow. This is not how I usually work. It's quite frustratingly slow. If I can hold it up here to this camera, I'll flip over to the face. You can see it a bit easier. So yeah, what I was saying is this side of the trunk is all done about up to here. We've got a little bit, everything's reversed. We've got a little bit here. We've got these done, but we still got the we still got the scroll and these branches and the top of the trunk to do. For anyone else who is new here, this is the image we're working on. Finished tracing calligraphy. Nearly. I got a few lines left of the calligraphy, but it's so long. I did get it translated though. I did get it translated. We can talk about that next stream. I did get it translated. Yeah, this is the print we're doing. There's going to be, I don't know how many blocks. There's a lot of blocks. It doesn't look like there's so many colors in this print, but there are a lot of blocks, and the print itself will look very different from this. This is just like sort of mapping out the colors for me. This is the print we're making. This block we're working on now is called the key block, which is the first block, which has all the dark lines. They're going to be printed kind of light, and there might even be some wiping on the key block, like we saw on the Misty Day at Nico. If anyone's seen the printing video that I made, there were some areas that we wiped. I might do it. It means that it'll be very difficult to convince printers to take this as a job. I will pay them more than market rate for, as an encouragement, just like please do it. It's very difficult to convince printers nowadays to do anything, and I've spoken to people and I've had a few like, no, Ready. But the blocks aren't finished yet, so they're just sort of like now. It's not enough printers. It's a real problem. Where are we? Make sure we're on camera. Make sure we are focused. Let's finish this middle section up here. There's a little bit more in here. And then we'll be done up to the top. Unfortunately, that means we're going to be doing some picky work. That's way too small. How is everyone doing? It's Tuesday night for us here. I guess it's Monday for most of you. Happy Monday. I also want to get my little... Let me just get a little bit more in the middle here. Music's okay. Hello. How do I say that name? Kisme's 2001. Kismes. I honestly, I think I'm just going to adopt a policy of just like trying to say your names as deliberately messed up as I can, and just call it like, oh, that's my style. It's like when you're really bad at drawing, right? And instead of just taking the time to like learn proportions, you just say, no, that was my intention all along. This is my style. Chat's all quiet on that one. Maybe that's a sore subject. I always really hate it. Tuesday morning here. Already 80 degrees. That'll be Fahrenheit. I have really no concept of Fahrenheit. I suppose in the UK we still use it a little bit. The UK is really weird with its units it uses. We tend to use the unit that makes things seem as bad as possible. Glad to see I finally made it. I finally made it for one. Yeah. We're very pleased to have you. Looks like we've got a few first-time live viewers here today. Is the mic level okay? I think it's okay. Yeah, the UK tends to use like whatever units seem the most impressive. Like when it's cold, we always say, "Oh, it's -3 today. It's terrible." And then when it's hot, people say it's 80, it's 90. I always found that a little bit ridiculous. So I just decided that the future was Celsius and all that. So I never really internalized any of like the older Fahrenheits and stuff. The only one that was a hang up for me was miles, like. And of course in Japan, kilometers an hour is what we use here. I guess it's the same with the monies stuff as well. Like, I often don't have a good linkage in my brain. Some people are really good with like conversion rates and stuff like that. And intellectually, I know them. I can figure them out. Like, not the Fahrenheit one. I'm lost on that. It's been so many years since I even thought about that. intellectually you can sort of like with a lot of them, it's like a mile is 1.6 kilometers, blah blah blah. You can sort of gauge that in your head if you think about it. But like I haven't internalized that. I don't just go, oh yeah, it's roughly this. I don't have those figures set out. I suppose I don't need it. I filled it all with useful woodblock knowledge. Something's got to give. Welcome, Indica. Shuffle. Okay. We have a question in the Discord today, so I thought we could take a little bit of time. One of the reasons I'm a little bit unprepared is because I was taking measurements and stuff of my desk here. Konwawa, hello, Midna, welcome in. Quick question: what do you mean by seasoning the cherry wood? Basically, just letting it lose all its internal moisture. That's the big one. But it's like letting the wood settle is the bigger one. How it's the internal like tensions and stuff. As it dries, it will sort of want to fall and twist and rock and stuff. And if you don't let the wood do that before making planks out of it, after you glue it up, they'll like crack and split and want to come apart. So seasoning's the word for it. I don't know why we use the word seasoning. I'm sure there is an old English reason that they use that. Like the word seasoning probably meant something very different in the past. But we still use seasoning for like aging stuff. Doesn't it take seasons to do? Jeff Hopkins. That name seems familiar. Welcome in. That is an interesting theory, though. Doesn't it take seasons to do? Is that really it? It makes sense. It takes seasons to do. Shosugiban? I'm not sure what you mean by Shosugiban. Ban is size. Clearly, I need to do a little bit more Japanese studies. But conversations I'm alright at. But... Welcome in, Vidid. Season apparently comes from an old French word meaning to ripen or mature. Saison? My French is very poor. I just said season in a French accent. I have no idea. Very interesting. Thank you for that. It's good, isn't it? Having internet people just like there. I don't have a keyboard, so I can't quickly Google it off screen, pass it off as my own knowledge. Not that I'd ever do that, obviously. Preposterous. Even on camera, yeah. Yeah, so that tracing is very nearly done. I've decided I'm going to be doing the color separations before I paste it down. I'm going to be working on another print very shortly. I still haven't received the stuff for that. I've received the design. I'm not sure how much I'm going to touch up on that, but I've got basically not even that anymore. I think we said 3 weeks from last Friday. So I'm actually running out of time. I need a block pretty soon. I'm just waiting on a block for that. And then I'll do a little bit of work on the image I've been provided. And I'll also be taking some video, I guess. It's the last one I'll be doing in that season, in that series. Season, I've got it stuck in my head now. Carving wise, it's not one of the most interesting to make a video about. So I'm wondering if there's any. Maybe I could do one more focused on the printing. Well, the story always comes as I'm making it. Like there's always something that I have to do different with how I make the color transfers and stuff. I guess it will be less about key carving and more about color blocks. It's just for me that's the less interesting part of making a block set. I'm still waiting on the color separation from Asuka Sensor for the previous work I did. Which everything is like really pushing it tight. People know about my trip back to the UK. So everything's been cut a little bit too fine. I'm gonna have a really busy couple weeks. How long is it actually gonna be? So I go back on the 10th. So on Wednesday it's 1, 2, 3. Okay. Is your neighbour still doing renovations? It's constant. There's constant new houses. Where are you going in the UK? I will be going to Wales for the most part. I'm from North Wales, very rural little part of the world. That's where my family's all located. That's where I grew up for the most part, although we moved around a lot as kids. From the Orkneys all the way down to Mar. Did we live in England at any point? We travelled a lot anyway. Is your whole family going? They all live there. My whole family, as in my wife and my son, yeah. That's the main reason for the trip, where he's 1 and it's about time he met his family. They're all very eager, and no one's ever come out here to see us. And He'll be an old man by the time they eventually do get out here. So we're going back there. Have you ever been to Llandudno? I have. We used to go to the cinema in Llandudno. The movie, the cinema where it was like close to our house. It was like new movies wouldn't come out for like a month and a half, 2 months after they were actually like premiering in not regular cinemas. So the nearest cinema that like had new releases, not like 2 month old movies, was Llandudno. Are you from Llandudno, Rob? And my younger sister lives there now. Did Dave give you feedback on wood you dropped off from Nagoya? Or you won't really know until later the quality? Matt, Dave hasn't seen the wood. I sent him the video I made for my Patreon, where like just so he could see the individual pieces and stuff. I don't think he downloaded it because the file was too large. He's a little bit finicky about files on his server. So I think he didn't want to download it, so he didn't look at the video. And also he won't be able to really tell the quality until I or someone else carves it and gives him feedback on it. That's I got a little sample of the type of feedback. Where is that piece of wood? And a couple of slices here. Oh yeah, here we go. So for the next key block I'll be getting, I was sent a little cut off like this. This is some waste from the end, not very thick. So he sent me some of this just before he was like glued everything down to see. He thought it felt a little bit harder, and he sent me a little bit to. I did some little. Can you even see it? I did some little test carving to see if it'll like hold up, and it seemed okay. It's not the best stuff, but for this next print, it'll be fine. It'll hold the lines, they won't chip, but went up the Great Orme on a cable car. Okay. Are you from the UK, Rob? Or the summer or holiday to the UK? So yeah, we won't know the quality of any of the wood until we turn it into blocks. Thankfully, there are some chunkier pieces of wood in there. And so if they are some good wood, then we'll be able to get a bunch of blocks out of them. If they're bad wood, that's like, it's not great. It works both ways. Too small. It's just a day trip on the coach. I've never done that. Been to the Great Orme. The name is familiar. I can't, to be honest, I can't really remember what that is. But it's some hiking course. Nishanded now. I don't know like that side of the peninsula very well. Wood doesn't want to go both ways. Little bit finicky. To be honest, this type of like picky, finicky work, the kind of stuff you just want like a couple days, just a big hill, really. A glowing review of Llandudno there. What was I saying? This kind of fiddly, delicate little clearing work. It's the kind of stuff that's really not served by doing little hour stints at it once or twice a week, you know. You want just a couple good albums on the ready in the queue. Start early and just slowly all through it all day. The time flies by and then you can just focus and slowly do it. And I'm being extra careful because like I'm pretty sure this is cut the right depth here. I'm not worried about like undercutting the lines and stuff, but with the wood not wanting to go either way, I'm being extra careful. Whenever there's a piece like that sort of sticks a little, because the lines are so thin, they'll easily get knocked over by just the wood itself having a little bit too much strength in that particular fiber. Is there no way to kiln dry small slice pieces now and compare it to wood a few years to see if you'd like to would give you a quicker way to decide on the potential of wood quality in the future? Rather, it really doesn't help us if we could kiln dry it. My suspicion. Sorry, you were in ads. Let me just reread that question. It's a question about can I just kiln dry a piece of wood, like pre-sliced, to see how the wood will behave. My presumption is I have never tried this. We don't have a kiln for one, but my presumption is it would probably when it's seasoning it also hardens up a little bit, you know. The slow drying prevents it. Well, the big one is splitting. There's a real risk of splitting, but it also gets harder as it ages, you know. Like some of these antique blocks that we've been using sliced up, they are incredibly hard. And some of them are used for color blocks, and it's like we can now use them nearly for key blocks, you know. The problem that happens when they get too old is they get really brittle. But I suspect putting them in a kiln, you'd end up with, if you pre-slice them, you'd end up with a piece that was very, very warped, and you'd lose a lot more of the wood just shaving it down, and you'd have wood that was riddled with cracks and striations, so not really usable. But the bigger reason not to do that is that even if we did do that and it worked the way we hope, and we could test and say this is a nice piece of wood. Oh, sorry. You can see a nice piece of wood. We can't get any more of it. That's it. It's already, we've got all the wood that was available from those particular trees. There's no more. Hey Taryn, did you see the end of Dave's last stream mentioning you? Dave sure is a cutie sometimes. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I think I saw the last stream. A cutie? That's not the word I'd use. Cutie? A 74-year-old man. I guess old people, they can be cute. But it's not the word I'd use to describe him. I don't think that's an insult to say. I think he'd probably be more insulted by being called a cutie than me saying that that's not the correct word. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Would you ever resurface old blocks? It's been done. We've done it. It's done quite often. And in the olden days, of course, it was done really, really frequently. I've done it to some of my own prints. Wood is expensive. Like planing them flat. Yeah, if you look at the Mokankan collection, the crane at sunrise, it's one of the earlier prints in the catalogue. That was originally carved by Dave, and then the blocks wore out. He wanted to try something a little bit different because that set, it doesn't really have a key per se. What it does have is quite a delicate karazuri block, which is the impression block, the embossing block. And because there's no pigment rubbed on that, it's just printed as is, like this, just with paper and a baron on top. That one hasn't worn down at all, but all the other color blocks have been printed thousands of times and they were all really worn. So Dave wanted to try seeing if we could just, because we cut at an angle, the thinking was that like just playing the top surface down, all when blocks wear out, the corners all round off and you can't register them very easily. So the idea was to just take a mil or so off the top, because all the angles are cut at an angle, like a 70-degree angle, thereabouts. The idea would be I would just shave everything a little bit. It turned out to just be 100% not worth it. I could make a new set of blocks in half the time. As it would have taken to shave, print, check, wait for the blocks to try, shave. That would have taken a very long time to get through that. So I ended up just making all the other blocks again for that. But we kept the original karazuri. So I don't know who's actually credited as a carver on that one. It's a bit of a mix. I mean, like, reset. Are you talking about just scratching the surface to make it smooth again? He just planed off a mill and then recarved the shapes. Wade Willie, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. Let me just do a quick shout out here. We can do this now. We have the power. We have the technology. How do we spell your name? D-E. Wiley. Ah, I put the exclamation mark the wrong way. Oh, someone help me. Jesus. Big up. We did it. We did it. Welcome in. What were you just doing? Are you in making and crafting as well? What were we working on? Are you playing games? Just saw while I was browsing, looked like admirable talent you have. Thank you very much. Let me, if you want to share what you were working on, if you were doing just chatting today. Okay, cool. Thank you. Let me do a bit of an introduction. We are working on a Japanese woodblock print. This is the image here. This is the first block in creating that image. This is the black outlines that are on the trunk. The print's a little small. Maybe I can enlarge it a little bit for you guys. Yeah, so this is the dark outline. There's going to be a bunch of color blocks after. Each block will be a single impression. So each color will have its own block. And we will make a full set of blocks and create an image similar to this one here. Yeah, please, please. Thank you for the raid again, and have a nice rest. I know streams can be a bit tiring. Yeah, cheers. I love watching these wood carving blocks on YouTube. Well, we have a YouTube as well. You can check it out. Let me give you a quick follow. I'll check out your stuff after. Sorry, I haven't seen your channel before. I've opened this and I don't know how to close it. Just needed to expand it. An actual artisan craft. Yeah. I am traditionally apprenticed woodblock carver. I live here in Japan. Trying to get this block finished. It's taking an awfully long time because this is a personal project of mine. We stream a couple times a week. This one is usually working on my personal projects in the evenings, and then the other stream on Friday morning for me, is when we do my normal day job stuff. We'll be starting a new print on Friday, hopefully, if the wood comes here, for a subscription set with the artist duo Atelier Center. Do you have a link to the particular bonsai and why you chose it? No, but I should. Thank you for that. That's a great suggestion. I will put it on the FAQ. I'll make a little FAQ and I'll stick it on the website. Are you based in Japan? Yes, I am. I'm guessing from the background. Ah, okay, yeah, the doors, sliding doors. No, cheers for that, Spiegel. I will set up a little page explaining. I've been sort of saving all that information, you know, because, well, for this project, I was thinking about doing a Kickstarter when I've got the first print ready. I started a Kickstarter. I started putting the information down. Let's minimize this picture for a bit so you guys can see. So I really, before I started Twitch, I wasn't gonna. I've been working on this in the background, like sort of in secret. can't believe we've been working on this since I started. It's like 3 months now. It's nuts. This is officially the longest I've ever spent on a block, and I've done some finicky, complicated blocks. The actual time we've spent on the block is very, very minimal. But usually my evenings are taken up by work from Asaka Sensei. Oh, we were talking about that. So that project, I finished the key block. I passed the blocks to him, the key block to him, so he can create color separations. 3 in the series. And I'm still waiting for him to send me the color separations back. I'm gonna have to talk to him. Because I think I was supposed to finish that project by the end of this month, which is just, or was it the end of next month? Either way, it's not going to happen because I'm leaving on the 10th. Wow. Money. Thank you. DH0101011110. Thank you so much for subscribing. Arigato. Let's give you a thank you desu. Hi, redeem.
とてもサンキュー。
ありがとう。So yeah, I guess the project will just be finished when it's finished. And there's not really much I can do about that. I got the key block done in good time, and I could have finished it in time had it not been 2 weeks since I've given the work for color separations. And there's like, what, 36 colors in that? A lot of them are small. But I don't know how many blocks. I'm curious to see how many blocks he managed to get them onto. Obviously, the less blocks for me, the less, not necessarily the outlines are all the same, but it'll be less clearing work. So for any people who are new here and don't really understand this process very well, essentially the lines are all carved in relief. The first stage is with a knife. This is the knife. And all the lines are cut on both sides with that. Then I take some U-gouges and some big flat chisels, clear away all these valleys. And the last stage is just with these little bullnose chisels to come in right close to the lines and get rid of any wood touching the lines and just tidy up the block a little bit. After this, the blocks are sent to a printer. They rub pigment on them with a brush similar to this. I'm using this one just to brush away the little wood chips. And then they will use a baron, which is like a varnishing tool, to rub the back of some moist paper onto the block, pressing the ink into the paper, leaving you with a nice, smooth, hopefully, beautifully carved, hopefully, Japanese woodblock print. Yeah, Spiegel was asking about this project. This one the goal is sort of 3 prints. I've normally got the 3 trees marked out, but maybe the last one might change. All the bonsais here are from ACN. He has the guy's name is Bjorn. He has a YouTube channel where he documents like his nursery. He's setting up a nursery currently in Kyoto, but he did have one in Tennessee for a while. And sort of the 3 trees are going to represent different like stages. He was quite inspirational for me actually moving out and finding an apprenticeship here. He had an apprenticeship in Japan, and when I was thinking about doing this, it sort of seemed possible to do that because, well, I saw a video about him talking about apprenticeships in Japan. Tree threes. Karen must have a big room. They're small trees. They're miniaturized trees. And these are just facsimiles. But the block sets will actually take up a fair bit of space in this room. I don't know where I'm going to store them. Hopefully, the goal is that they will be constantly out at a printer's house. So I won't need to store them here for very long because you guys are going to want them so much that I just won't be able to. It was a math joke. Tree brackets 3. I don't get it. I used to be okay at maths. I don't get that. Multiply the brackets out first. 3. 3 is a big number. Ah. Now, I've never heard of tree before. Obviously, the maths level at which I stopped, or maybe it's saying something about the UK education system, which I am not defending. It's been so long since I did any math, you know. It looks like it's just you, son. Someone in the VODs will get it. The good thing for the other chatters is that the rest of them can just keep quiet. They don't have to address it. And then make themselves obvious that it's way above their pay grade. I only know about it because I'm a number file. We can talk about biology. I can do that. Maths is not my thing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. When you make a cycling joke in an AutoZone centre. Really? You have a degree in biology? Me too. One in botany. Wow, I wish I'd done botany. I chose the wrong degree. I did applied biomed. And like in the second year, very start of the second year, as I was transferring into the second year actually, because I was doing applied biomed and I wanted to move on to botany and just like more plant stuff if I couldn't do like pure botany, just plant stuff. And yeah, my university didn't have a botany course, so I moved on to what was it, applied biological sciences, which is basically exactly the same as biomed. I was in all the same classes as everyone, except I had like one fermentation module instead of a double like blood science. It was awful. I hated my university. It was truly dreadful. But without that and me getting completely disillusioned in following that route that I was on, um, without that I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be making beautiful prints and I wouldn't be chatting to you guys. I'd be off in some jungle somewhere probably, searching for rare orchids or something like that. That would have suited me right down to the core though, you know. Graduated with a degree in botany. Did not use it in my profession, yeah. No, it seems to be a thing that we get these degrees, and the thing about a biology degree is like most people don't know anything about biology. Like their education level, they stop kind of young. And when you say you've got like any sort of science or maths or anything like that, a degree in one of those, people go, they look at you a little bit different. That's the only use I've ever got out of my degree. Matt and that and personal interest stuff. What's this? I think biology degree is typically stepping stone to something else. My brother has, for example, continued to optometry. No offense to biologists. I'm doing work today that I was not trained for. Yeah, that seems to be another pattern as well, actually. Though I have a friend who went into geology, he said it sucked because there's no grant money. Yeah. Yeah. Tell him to get on Twitch. Start talking about rocks. That's what the rest of us are doing here. You gotta you gotta create your own interest. Rocks are cool. People just need to be told. Who's that guy I follow on YouTube? Oh, he's not a geologist. I was thinking of Mini Minute Man, but he had a geologist on recently. She was kind of good. What were they talking about? Has anyone seen that channel? Mini Minute Man? I wanted to. Oh, hello, everyone. You start talking about archaeology and you pop up. Hello, are you into archaeology? What do you want to talk about? If we talk about careers not taken. Yeah, everyone list out all the careers, not necessarily not taken, but like the ones that you, in hindsight now, not just I could have been a professional footballer type stuff. But actually, like, what is the alternate timeline? For me, it would probably be some sort of botanists, like out in the field, finding new specimens, maybe to do with medical herbalism or like new extracts and stuff like that. I think I'd enjoy finding new species or new uses for stuff like that. So archaeologists, we've got archaeologists. I initially went into art but switched to computing. Usually it's the other way around, isn't it? You go make your money in the computing and then you switch over and do what you really wanted to do. That's what I did. Like the science and then switched over to the art for a better job perspective, but have since come back to art for better jobs prospects. Wow. What sort of art do you do now? I could have been a marine biologist. That would have been cool. Well, yeah, lots of work still to do. Maybe you could have ended up in my hometown. We used to get marine biologists coming there every year or so. It's one of the last places, maybe in Europe, that has seagrass. That's certainly one of the last in the UK. Apparently, like there was like this seaweed type grass stuff that grew on this one little beach right in front of a pub where I used to work, and every now and again we'd get these marine biologists all coming to do this survey on the health of this seagrass and doing papers and stuff on it. The ocean's scary though, man. No, the art doesn't make much money, but computing is dead now. Ah, because of AI. Okay, I see. I work in web development and use the money to fuel my printmaking. Web development, that's another one. The machines are coming for us all. We've got to stand united, you know. YouTube influencer. He'd be one of those toxic people, just like really bright flashing lights. The jukebox, not the jukebox, is what they call the fruit machines, getting children into gambling. Computing is not dead. The Gen AI do all the lousy job programming. Oh, okay. We don't use them at work. Good, 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 good. I think maybe we should take a stand on this. I guess that the Ginkgo Hanga Twitch broadcast's official policy is we don't like laser carved blocks. Not because I'm threatened by them, but because they don't make very nice prints, honestly. And we don't like AI art especially. So there, got it. You've got me on a controversial position. I don't think anyone's coming after me. In fact, at work we train specific AIs for health applications. Nothing generative, trained with experts. That's cool. That's how it should be used. The technology itself is like, I have nothing against like stuff like that. It's used in the if it's used in the correct way, it's great. Like I imagine for stuff like that, like detecting health stuff, finding ailments and stuff, even before a doctor, that's how it should be used. Pattern recognition stuff. It's great. That. Analytical chemist. And someone's just said so drugs. Was that a serious suggestion? Or is I see AI as a paradox, but Pandora's box. It has caused mayhem, but we must acknowledge that it cannot be put back in the box. True. Unless we do a Dune. We could just do a Dune. Should we do a Dune? It worked out so well in those books. Bye, time. Thanks for the stream. Cheers. Oh, cool. I have read your emails. Thank you for your emails. I have meant to reply to both of them. I have read them, sorry. I just haven't had time, sorry. I know I spelled that wrong. Butlerian jihad. Yeah, I don't. I'm not judging your spelling. I am awful. How would you pronounce it, Dune? June? June. The Butlerian jihad is right, yeah. June, sorry. For our Americans out there, we should do a June. I don't think I'll be pronouncing it like that. I come across as way too sassy. The same as you pronounce it in Japanese, I think. June. 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 Mm. The English language is terrible. It's good. It's good. I watched something recently. Was it Bertrand Russell talking about it? No. No, it was like an Italian. It was an old Italian dude. He was talking about why he loves the English language because it's got like the Latin and the Roman, and you've got multiple words for each word. And like, I always hated it, like English language as like a subject in school. My spelling is awful. I moved around like 13 different schools or something when I was younger, and I missed major sections of like one curriculum, and then I redid something. It's like I did Magic E like 5 times, but I missed everything else in between, you know. The I before E, blah blah blah. I know that one really well, but everything else in between just kept repeating segments, and then anyway. So I didn't enjoy English as a kid, but I've developed a bit of an appreciation. It's quite a good language. The spelling is awful, but what you can do with it is pretty cool. Each language has its own like Japanese. There's lots of words for like concepts that would take a long time to explain, and you sort of don't get the full meaning. But the English language is really flexible. Dune is interesting to say at least. Dune. It's one of those words we're going to start losing all meaning. There is no good reason for the pronunciation of telepathy and telepathic to be so different. It's sheer madness. Telepathy, telepathic. They sound very similar to me. Maybe in your accent they sound very different. The tel is the same. Pathic, pathy. Say June 10 times fast. I will not. You have fun though. Lots of idiosyncrasies. Yeah, it's a mess. I'm not arguing that it's perfect. It's an absolute mess. And like, if you were talking to a younger Taran, he would have been right there with you. He'd have been furious at the language. It makes no sense. There's all these idiosyncrasies. Lots of things that don't make sense. But you can do a lot with it. Especially with British English. You can get away with so much. Idiopathic, idiopathy, psychopath, psychopathy, psychopathy. Okay, it's not a perfect. It needs a revamp, obviously. I'm the wrong person to be defending the English language. There's probably people who are much more qualified than me. Let's get back onto biology. Come on. There's no good. I'm British, but there's no good reason for the U in colour. It wasn't there originally, and it adds nothing. Do you know why it's there? And I'm convinced of this. The reason the U is there is because when you look at it, at both the words, one seems like it was written by someone a little bit dimmer than the other person. I'm sorry, I'm just too used to seeing colour with a U. Color. That when I see it without the U now, it just looks like someone a little bit simple wrote it. I've really opened up a can of worms here. Like 95% of the viewership is American. I'm not going to win this argument. I'm right on your side. Anyone who says anything negative about the English language. But it is cool the way you can say some things. I can't think of an example right. Just the metaphors you can make are fantastic. Maybe you can do it in other languages. I certainly can't do it in Japanese yet. And I don't think, even if I could, that people would really get what I was saying. I really enjoy using analogies when I speak. Like, I really love them. And it's so much fun to talk to like certain friends back in the UK. When I talk to like, okay, there's one guy I used to work with. There's two guys I used to work with. One of them is Canadian, and the other guy was like Canadian British. He did sort of half his life in both. And the way I was able to talk to the Canadian, the British guy, just can be a lot more creative in the way you use the English language. There have been various movements. Yeah, I've got a book here that has the written differently. I have been got to run, catch it. So you just open up this can of worms and then you run. Thanks for stopping by, speaking. Was it you who started this? Leaping back to the AI. Let me check. Besides switching vowels before pathy, but the first syllable before pathetic. Oh, the emphasis switches in the word. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's the same with kanji. You just get good. The idea is just get good. You've got me arguing just because everyone is on one side. I'm just a contrarian and I just want to defend the other point. But I don't stand on this hill. Or at least I don't want to. You're forcing me to, but here's a fun bit of English language trivia I got from a 100-year-old grammar book. The word quiet, as in he is quite, as in he is quite good at that, is pretty posh word to use. I'm sure most would agree. But in this old book, he complains about quite being a new word young kids are using improperly. Quite means wholly, totally, completely. You can say a glass is quite full, meaning totally full, but you cannot say someone is completely good at something. That's nonsense. The patterns repeat. Stories never change, do they? What's the Gen Z one? Skibbity on guard or something? I don't know. I did work in the school, but Japanese kids don't really use skibbity on guard. I don't know what any of the new ones are. The spelling gives clues to the meaning, kind of like kanji. Bright is a good thing. It's different from right. Sure to be with might and might. In 100 years, posh toffs will go around using Skibbity Ohio Riz. Please tell me that one doesn't stick around. There's a lot of words like this that are just like, they've come and gone. Meme's a good one. Was it Richard Dawkins who came up with meme? I think it might have been. He came up with one of them. I think probably Skibbity will not be around in 100 years. I think it'll be very cringe next year, to be honest. So talking about botany and finding new species, what name would you give to a new species? The perks of discovering. Depends what it is. I don't know. What plant have I discovered? A new aeroid. Okay, I found a new aeroid. I'm in the Peruvian jungle. No, I know nothing about Peru. Why did Peru? Peru, because one of the lifeguards at the pool is Peruvian. I just found out. Okay, so we're in West Papua. We've just found a new aeroid. It's a philodendron. I like philodendrons. What would I call it? Obviously, it gets its scientific name. That's fine. Any suggestions? Lady Jane. Without looking, it's like naming a child without seeing its face, or naming a dog like Skipper, and then it comes out and it doesn't look like a skipper. I love philodendrons. Me too. Do I have any in here? No, I do like philodendrons, but this is my anthurium room. Philodendron terranis. The word okay is not really real. We've got the chat today. We're back and forth from all sorts of stuff. It's fun. I've got no carving done. It's all been about the English language. The word okay is not really a real word. The real form is okay, or actually okay, meaning all correct. It's basically meaning what's okay basically meaning what okay means today. Yeah, wasn't it a radio thing? It was invention with the telephone, no? Or was it before telephone? No, it would have been. What was before? What was the? I can't remember the name of them. Nice. Let's talk plants. Plants is better than the English language. How did we get onto this? I'll tell you what, we actually, maybe most of it was off camera. Not the Telegraph. I wasn't thinking of the Telegraph. I was thinking of the one. There is one in the UK. I think it's on at the south of England somewhere, maybe in Cornwall. There's like a big, tall, like radio tower, but it's not. And there's one in America, and they were able to communicate like really brief things after Morse code. Is it the Telegraph? I thought it was something like a precursor to it. A bonsai's easy to keep. I want to get one, but I'm nervous about killing it as soon as I get it. Get a really cheap small one first, or even better, make your own. Go to a nursery, get like a little lemon cypress or something like that, and cut all the bottom branches off. Watch a little YouTube video, wrap it up, put it in some macadamia. Bonsais are fun, but you need lots of them. So get a few, and then buy yourself a little one. If you can keep that alive, good. You're gonna kill a couple of them. Like, that's gonna happen. So don't get expensive ones first. Telegraphed fostered the development of lots of abbreviations because it took time and maybe cost more for longer messages. I follow heron bonsais on YouTube who often emphasize that bonsai trees are trees and trees thrive best when outside planted in the ground. Yeah. Or our habit of putting them in little pots are aberrations and the trees don't like it. No, they're quite stressed actually. But you can make them less stressed. You can feed them and fertilize them right. Plants are good, man. It's just good to have them. Like I don't know why I first got into bonsais, but I must have been really young, you know. I must have been 8 or 9. Definitely much before 10. No, no, no. Don't let people. Bonsais, they're tricky to keep alive. They're not that bad. You just need to water them. Just don't go on holiday. They'll be fine. Mm-mm-mm. Getting lost. Bireal bonsai. I think the word I was looking for was telegram. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it was a telegram. I think you're right. It's a more general term for using symbols conveyed by various means. No, no, maybe it wasn't telegram. No, it's something more specific, you know. It's like maybe it was the first telegraph. Maybe it just was telegraph and I'm confusing things. Like flag, semaphore. Perhaps grammar involving the word teller should be called telegram. Telegramma. Well done. Let's all clap for Sun. I really wish I had like a soundboard. We need to get one of those cheer sounds. Hooray! Wasn't Telegram the message and I gotta do some work, guys. We've got like 2 minutes left. Keep chatting. I don't need to be involved in every conversation. What's coming up next? This is why this has been 3 months. We're just like, we're still chopping away at the tree, but we have finished that top section. You close your eyes and stuff gets done. So maybe all the chat was good. Definitely wasn't, but maybe it was. Rika's just shooting in the dark. I don't think it started with teller is the problem. You're all trying to think of different words that I'm thinking of that start with tell. But I don't think it did. Although it would make sense if it did. It was sending messages. Anywho, we got an ad break in 2 minutes. This is fun. Reason we're here. What makes a good bench? Let's do it. Let's start. I'm going to put this to the side. You're supposed to remind me at the hour. Okay. I have a question on the Discord. Telepathy? Let me go to the Discord. This is perhaps the not most. Let's start. This is perhaps not the most interesting question. You're wrong. It's a good question. I like it. However, I'm thinking of building myself a dedicated carving bench, so I was wondering if you could talk about some of the important or useful considerations when building or setting up a carver's bench. That is from Servo on the Discord. Very good question. There are no wrong questions, only wrong answers from me. I drew a little picture here, and I have a bunch to talk about benches. We will extend the stream a little bit so we can do this question. because I planned on answering it, and I've titled the stream "What Makes a Good Bench." And if we don't talk about what makes a good bench, then it's a clickbait title. These are my current dimensions. These are not the traditional dimensions for a bench. Most carvers' benches I've seen have all been very different. Everyone has a different preference, a different size. Recently, we went to Ito Susumu's daughter's house, and her Ito Susumu's bench, who's the guy who gave Dave his knife, his bench was remarkably small. Like, I couldn't even fit under it. I had to lift up the table to get my legs under it. Not centimeters. We're working in millimeters here. Come on, come on, come on. I drew this really quick. This is not a nice picture. I just do this like 5 minutes before the stream. I quickly took some measurements. Thank you for your kind words, but we can do better than this. Yeah, I took a little measurement here. My few notes, my bench is like sizable. I have a very big slab here. I got this big slab of Purple Heart. I think I talked about it before. But I got this big slab of Purple Heart. There's the full width. You can almost see on the camera. And I didn't cut it because it's incredibly hard, and I wanted to keep it as big as possible. Let me just get through this, otherwise we'll be here until midnight. Isn't Purple Heart very expensive? It's not cheap. It would have cost a pretty penny. We're on ads. God damn it. Let's listen to this song and we'll get back to it. Chet Baker, take it away. Yeah, just a little backstory. If you don't know, I was given this piece of wood by a coffee shop owner to my first regular coffee shop here in Japan, and he just done a renovation on some of his tables, and he had this big hunk of Purple Heart left over. He offered it to me, and I had to carry it home, and it took a very long time to carry it home, and my arms were very tired afterwards, but we got it home and I turned it into a bench, and I love it, and I'm going to keep using this slab of wood for the rest of my carving career, I guess. Welcome back from the ads. Right, couple points. You are going, if you're making your own carving bench, you are going to want to change the height and the angle and everything probably quite a bit. I've been in like 4 or 5 houses, I guess, in Japan, and each time I've put it in a new location, or I've switched from cross legs to like sunken legs, I've changed the table multiple times. Yeah. Currently, my table is on little wooden chucks, and one day I'll get around to either getting a nice carpenter or hiring a place with some nice tools where I can actually do a proper job and make the table I want. But be flexible with your legs. My suggestion would be I don't like adjustable legs, and I'll tell you why in a second. But my suggestion would be to just use some cheap wood, some 2x4, whatever, and just put some legs on, carve for like a week, cut them, carve for a bit longer, cut them large, or make it so that you can change the legs while you're still playing around. The width, you need, I'd say, you need at least 30. Anything smaller than 30 is going to be finicky. And I'd say width-wise, that was the height, sorry. No, that was the width. The length-wise, I'd say you need Matt, you could go as low as 50, but that wouldn't be very comfortable for me. Depends on who you are as a person, like the width of your shoulders, where your arms comfortably rest. You just want to be as comfortable as possible. And I've noticed recently that while I'm doing ice ski work, that my back is like, only when I do ice ski work, my back, I get a little bit of a twinge in one spot. And so I actually want my desk a touch higher. So when I get round to it, I will be raising it all a little bit. I've had a really high desk. I've had a really steep angled desk. I've changed it a lot. The legs, I wish I could show you a picture of the legs at the moment. But don't be precious about it. Make some cheap legs and then put some time aside so you can actually, once you've tested them, go in. The angle, you can do the sin -1, the short angle versus the hypotenuse to figure out the angle. I didn't have time to do that, but you can do that. Somebody here, who's the math guy? Was it Son? About 4 degrees. Thank you. You did that on your head. You could do sin cos tan in your head. That's about the extent of my maths. About 4 degrees. Okay, I've had it probably from about 10 to I guess this is about as low as I've gone. I'd maybe raise it a degree, maybe somewhere around 5, maybe 6. I guess that's, anyway, try. My suggestion is try. For the construction of it, I have solid, I used my first desk before I got this plank. My first desk is now the legs of my table. Bro who says he doesn't like maths. I don't remember much. I know a little bit of trig. Yeah. You want your table to be as comfortable to you as possible. If you are cross-legged on the floor, I find you need a slightly higher table than if you're sitting with your legs hanging down through something, which is another reason, because I've switched between both of them. I've been back and forth a couple times between sitting on the floor and having a raised platform. Depending on the house I was in, I had to make adjustments. And so I've put blocks, I've raised it, I've lowered it a bunch of times. Somewhere around this. It needs to be angled because that's how it's comfortable. It doesn't need to be really angled. I think 4 is on a little bit on the low end. I personally, for myself, I think I want to raise it a little bit more. But like, I'm 5 years in and I'm still adjusting my setup. So yeah, just be curious, see what works for you, and you do need the back support bar. And the other thing I would do different about my table is I put my little hole here too far away. I have a really spectacularly long desk compared to like Harada-san's desk and Ito-san's desk. Asuka Sensei has a really nice desk, but it's a little bit low for me. That I hurt my back on his desk, but it's a really nice one. My advice is just to play around with it. Make a really cheap one first, and then cut it up and use that one as your new legs. And then when you're like 5+ years in, then you can get a really, really nice one that lasts you your whole life. But you'll know that the dimensions are nice. My suggestion for where you should put the hole, I can't really show you on the small camera, but if I switch over scene, go back to face, and I angle you down. Face. So if the block is in front of you, you've got an all-bound size print, whatever your most common size you're working on is, you want your block to be there if you center the block. So you want your hole to be here as you center. If you're a left-handed person, you want it here. And you don't want it too low down. Mine is about 10 centimeters out. So I got about 10 centimeters here to the bottom of my keyhole. You want enough so that you are not going to be struggling too much with it turning. If you got it right down here, whenever you use it, it's just going to be spinning out like that. So you want to be able to work from both sides of the peg. And a wide desk is really, really nice. I like it. My phone can go on the desk and I don't have to worry about always knocking it off. I can put my tools on the desk, and unless I'm using a really big block or I've got an iPad and a touchpad for working things out, I don't really knock things during my normal working hours. Are you going to post the post-it note in the Discord? I can. Yeah, it was just a quick, simple one. This is just my current dimensions. But like, as I said, my dimensions, they change very often. And they change depending on the space I'm working in as well. So this is not actually like a guide. Don't go out and copy my desk. I bet right-handed will want it on the left. Yeah. Right-handers want your hole on the left. Left-handers, you want your hole on the right. Yeah, if I can remember. If I don't remember, someone remind me in the Discord. Also, we have a Discord. Come join the Discord. It's so much fun there. I'm posting every day. I'm very good. And you can post your own questions just like this, and hopefully, usually, we answer them within the hour, within the first hour. Today, we've had a bonus stream, so you can thank me. I did this on purpose because I wanted to give you extra content for missing last week. You have a wide desk. Well, obviously, just needs to become wider. I just need to become wider to fit it. No, I think I'm trying to get thinner at the moment. I'm doing lots of swimming to try and get thinner. I wonder if having multiple desks would yield a benefit, different desks for different types of woodblock print carving. No, you only need one. That would be too much. Okay, I think maybe most people have already left. Maybe I've rambled on too long. This has been a fun one. I usually ramble on way too long, so I'm just going to end it there. We're not going to do any raids. We're just going to say bye. Oh, you're here. Cool, cool, cool. I hope it was helpful. I didn't give you any specific dimensions to do, but make some legs and make some little blocks and just play around with it. Do it for like a couple days. You'll feel a little pain. Do it again. That's my advice. It's good advice. Right. See you later. Bye.